I'm Colin. I was eliminated in episode 9, I think. Yeah. Not the more.
Probably one of my favorites, just because he made the game so much more dynamic.
I think Colin made this what it should be, which is as close to being a reality TV show as possible. And I definitely appreciated everything he did to spice things up, even though it was often very frustrating when he just wouldn't go along with what the group wanted or what any one player wanted strategically. He was in it to win it, and it was a little sad that he didn't make it to the final 3. I think he's still a little bitter. Bitter at me specifically, but hopefully gets over that soon. And I'm glad that I had a friend in it all along.
Colin was really fun. I don't think the mole would be the same without him. I'm glad that he's nice to me now that I'm off the show.
Colin was a very good note taker, I remember. And I had no idea what he was writing about, but he was clearly, I think, out to win too. I don't know what he was more intense about, mole or assassins.
Colin was intense. From Avatar, with the whole incident with cutting the wrong rope, to throwing water balloons at Suvai during the water balloon game. He was way too intense for this game, and I kind of feel bad that he lost because he's been in so many of these he was let in last year's and again this year and always gets so close but never is able to win, but I mean, he was quite a player.
Colin has definitely been the one player that I got into the most fights with, but he definitely goes all out for the game, and I think that's great.
Colin, I'm surprised. Actually, me and Colin never really met until the mall. And I feel like the mall is just a horrible place to meet people because it's just a bad atmosphere. He basically ran the game himself until the day he was eliminated. And even afterwards, we still spent most of our time talking about what he did and his impact on the game. So he's definitely a gamer, and he definitely tried his hardest to win. So.
Well, I knew for sure, after, I don't know, one of the quizzes that he wasn't the mole. But yeah, that would have been a really funny twist to have him be the mole. But yeah, he was fun. He's fun to play the game with. I really wish he had been the one to get the envelope in the hide-and-seek challenge. That would have been so hysterical. Having him scale buildings and crap, because you know he would. He would do ridiculous things, and it would be super entertaining. Although I guess it worked out, because I was like, oh, maybe he would have chosen me to go after him. Who knows? But that would have been really fun.
So Colin, I think your weakness in the game was your attitude, because I think anytime you play a game, you have to play into the attitudes of other people. If you're just like that stump that sticks out, that square peg in a bunch of circles, then you're gonna get eliminated sometime. And we saw that when you got eliminated.
I don't know what to say about Colin. Very entertaining. Colin was the most fun to be around throughout every challenge, just because he liked to play devil's advocate. Whatever anyone said, he'd like to, take out the claws and be Colin. It was definitely different with the final 3 and not having him in the room. And I feel very bad that he didn't get a chance to redeem himself from last year, and he ended up getting 4th place again, which is really unfortunate because I think out of anyone he wanted it the most. But, I mean, we also probably wouldn't have met. I've told him this many a time. We would not have talked if it wasn't for the mole, and that's a different story. But we were not on speaking terms at all. So if it weren't for the mole, Colin and I would have never spoken to each other. So very, very glad that we cleared things up. But yeah. So Colin was a great competitor. I wish he had stayed longer. I think he probably one of the most deserving people to win, which is unfortunate. I still don't know why I'm here, but yeah.
So I'm not mad at Colin. From the very beginning, okay, first off, Shani approached all of us during first impressions and was like, you guys, Colin is the mole. Like, David and Zane are totally predictable. Colin is the mole, trust me. And after that, I didn't think it was him, and I continued to not think it was him, even though he started like being really annoying, all the time. I like kind of tried to form an alliance with him because I didn't think he was the mole, and I thought he would have good information. And so I actually shared the clue with him that I denied him. And so like even though there was a lot of like bitterness when we were around each other in the game, outside of the game we're totally on perfectly normal terms. I still like Colin. He was fun to have around. He made the game more interesting, and so I think that's valuable, even though it was often annoying and his behavior was often a bit jerkish.